The moment I heard of Dying Light 2's music and how it was dynamically tied to the parkour's combo system, this is exactly what came to mind. Why did I think of this? Well, I can tell you it's not because of the same camera perspective or the combat between the two games being identical, because they aren't. They are totally different games. Doom, specifically Doom Eternal here, is a fast-paced first-person shooter with a high skill gap that requires fast reaction time, knowledge of your enemies, knowledge of your weapon arsenal, and map utilization. There's a lot of visual information to take in and process, but there's also a lot of audio information as well. Doom in general has always been known for having iconic soundtracks. E1M1, BFG Division, Mastermind, Rust Dust and Guts. Only thing they fear is you, Sandy City, Rip and Tear. I mean, if I was to play any of these soundtracks in the background, I guarantee you any Doom fan would instantly recognize what song it was. While anyone that's ever played Doom would have their ears perk up at the familiar guitar riffs. Eternal took the audio and added a little bit extra. Not only were we getting the rock concert that Doom's known for, but extra audio cues on top of that. Demons have certain sounds when they spawn in, letting you know what to expect. If you can't see it, at least you know it's there. Weak points have loud pings to let you know above the badass music and loud gunshots that a critical shot was landed. So now's your chance to either capitalize on the opportunity and finish off what you started, or take this moment with that demon being stunned to prioritize something else, or everything else. There's a lot happening on your screen, and there's a ton of audio information to process all in the blink of an eye. And while what you do combat-wise doesn't directly impact what you're hearing music-wise, Doom's soundtrack amps you up in such a way that you can't help but keep the death flowing. There's a beauty in Doom's combat that's been described as the Doom Dance, and the soundtrack just adds a harmony of terror and how spawn you can't help but get upset when you miss a shot or let yourself get stopped for even a second. Doesn't matter if you got hurt or need more ammo, either way you tripped over your feet and can't help but get the overwhelming urge to get back to ripping things with your bare hands. It's also quite a trance to watch someone who's incredibly good excel at this Doom Dance. Interestingly enough, Dying Light's music is quite similar, in its own unique way of course. Doom's pushing the combat, which is exactly what it excels at. The audio pings of weak points and demon screams are just the climax on top of the audio orgasm the soundtrack already started, while Dying Light's music excels in its parkour. And I'd even make some crazy comparisons. When you're jumping from rooftop to rooftop in just regular traversal, and I'm not even speaking in a combat or escaping sense, just plain movement, getting around. There's a lot of information to process. What roof am I going to? Where am I landing? Is there anyone around to jump off of? Are there any threats? Is there anything I can land to that'll continue this movement? Am I far jumping, sliding, double jumping, paragliding, wall running? You're constantly thinking and observing your environment to judge not only what you're doing now, but where you'll land 4 to 5 moves later. And in my personal experience, Eternal was the only game in recent memory that sucked me in and had me thinking that far ahead. Again, combat's a movement, but it's a familiar vein. You're moving in a very fast pace, sucking in and digesting many different elements in your environment. Movement or escape opportunities, threats, hindrances to your movement. Doom's Dance is in blood and guts, while Dying Lights is in its heights and how you get around. For Doom's combat, the music is kind of a baseline, already what to feel when you're doing all this crazy shit, while the audio weak point pings are encouragements to keep that combo meter flowing. Even though there's no actual combo meter, just that satisfying sound and knowing what it entails, an opportunity to continue this train of absolute death chugging on without anything stopping you, it's a top-notch adrenaline rush. Move over into Dying Light, where what you hear music-wise is a direct result of what you're doing. Dying Light's movement is like Eternal's combat. Easy to learn, hard to master. Intriguing to experiment with, absolutely enchanting to watch someone who's mastered it. And I can't be the only one who's ran in a circle of buildings trying to get the meter as high as possible to finally be able to hear as much of this game's amazing soundtrack as much as I possibly could. And you also can't tell me this doesn't look badass and the least bit of creative. Knowing tricks like wall running doesn't take any stamina. You can pull yourself to higher levels with the grappling hook, or even pull enemies towards you and immediately initiate an enemy jump off of them if your timing is just right, or even pulling a propane tank straight towards you. All of these things are helpful to know, but as far as the music and parkour are concerned, the gameplay, as creative and interesting as it is to watch, it's all the more better when your reward is to hear more complexity and depth to the music that's encouraging you and pretty much driving you to keep on moving. I was thinking it may be a stretch to give this credit to Dying Light's form of push forward music to Doom as at least an inspiration. You know, maybe it was personal narrow-mindedness as games and developers take inspiration from each other all the time, borrowing or expanding upon features, elements, gameplay mechanics, but Techland have a whole Easter egg dedicated to the very first level of the original Doom, and even a thank you letter to the original devs of id Software that genuinely brought a smile to my face. I said a few weeks before this game came out that I hope it succeeded in everything it set out to achieve, for the main reason of wanting more developers to experiment and push the boundaries of what we define as a specific genre of games, and combine more elements to make some fantastic and very unique IPs. The original Dying Light was a blend of so many things that I hope the sequel took the core elements, expanded, and deepened them. And in my opinion, the parkour is complemented perfectly with the music. The sound effect of falling only to catch a ledge at the last second, and Aiden's comments of cheering himself on. This game's version of enemy weak points was done phenomenally, and the idea of incorporating the music and adding complexity and depth to it based off of your own personal movement, I think was a really good idea. It was a good idea to take something that wasn't completely rare in the industry and apply it to something that's uniquely your own. And I think Oliver Devier did a phenomenal job with this game's soundtrack, not even just specifically parkour. Hell, I think some people already know half the songs by heart. Let me know what you guys think about this game's soundtrack, about so intimately connected with this game's parkour system, something that is a fundamental part of Dying Light 2. If there's one complaint I'd have, it would be the combo meter at times ends a little too abruptly, but beyond that, I mean, I really have no complaints when it comes to the parkour or the music. But like always, guys, my name is Cynic. Thank you all so much for watching. Let's talk down in the comments section. Special shout out to all my patrons, DJ Steph, Grim Reaper, and of course, Woodcrafted Essentials. If you guys want early access to videos like this, throw out video ideas or anything like that, feel free to check out my Patreon. Of course, it's not required. It's just a nice little extra nudge to help me out. But until next time, I'll see y'all in the next video.